The opening of the Spring Sonata is very unusual for Beethoven, in that he begins with a long flowing melody, without any of the dramatic gestures that we have come to expect from him. There are no sudden fortes or sudden pianos, no sforzandos. It's the kind of opening theme that we might expect from Mozart or Haydn. But we still need to give the phrases shape. So, in this opening we have 3 small phrases which we combine to form one larger phrase. And there is a clear arch, an overall shape. So, start the first phrase softly, piano, with quality and with clarity. Don't make too much diminuendo on the last note. And that last note should be rather long. There's a small breath, but the music continues. The second phrase gets a little louder, and the third phrase is louder still. I like to emphasize the high point, like this, giving the high D some extra vibrato, and perhaps lingering a bit. Or you might like to try this bowing. And then the tension relaxes to end the phrase. Before we move on, let's take a moment to establish a beautiful, smooth, clear finger action for the 16th notes at the beginning. The hand is completely stable, and we articulate the notes with clear, clean up and down finger motions. But without hammering. You can experiment a bit to find just the right amount of energy into the fingers. We need to refresh this finger technique now and then. Just a few seconds of warming up this way will get your fingers working for you. Check out the section on fast fingers in Simon Fisher's books. Now, the piano takes over the theme and the violin takes over the secondary line. This should be soft and unobtrusive, but it should still have presence. It's not just filler. It can have a tiny bit of vibrato. I like to linger on the first note of the measure like this. But you can't do that every time. It can get really annoying. You need to pick and choose. Every so often, there's a hint of an inner voice. Do you hear the progression from A to B flat? We can bring that out a bit. In measure 18, we have a crescendo, which doesn't seem to belong there. And, of course, it's supporting a similar nuance in the piano. So, be bold. Make the crescendo. It doesn't have to be a huge crescendo, but enough to be noticeable. And then the sudden piano. This is like a signature for Beethoven. He does it all the time. That seems commonplace to us, but at the time it was revolutionary. Mozart and Haydn rarely did anything like this. Going on now, softly, until we come to another Beethoven nuance, the sudden crescendo to forte. Again, It doesn't seem to belong. We've had a long, beautiful, singing, gentle phrase. And then all of a sudden he's shouting. This is pure Beethoven, doing the unexpected, demanding attention. We need to resist the urge to make the crescendo too soon. In fact, we might even make a little diminuendo to set up this surprising crescendo to forte. This is still soft. Maybe even softer. Until now. And talk about demanding attention. Beethoven bursts furiously into the next section, fortissimo, in a seemingly unrelated key. But it doesn't last long, and the music settles back into something more familiar and friendly. Again, be sure that the first two phrases stay soft and delicate. I like to play the first note with no vibrato. Again. And then comes another typical quick crescendo to fortissimo. Now, start the next fortissimo down bow, and then another down bow in the next measure. Be sure you notice that there are two sforzandos, and then the next measure does not have one. And make a beautiful quick diminuendo into the second theme. Again, pure Beethoven, the quick, surprising change of dynamics. So, we've arrived at the second theme in the key of C major. I feel that this whole next section is light and playful. We need to resist the urge to make it too dramatic. This is happy Beethoven with his famous sense of humor. The piano must start softly each time this occurs. And keep the crescendos small. Keep the mood light and happy. The prevailing dynamic for this whole next section is piano with small crescendos. And it's a real conversation. The violin and piano answer each other. And both players need to be sensitive, always relating to what you just heard. Does this sound like laughter to you? Jumping ahead. Again, these sforzandos should be subtly done, just enough to be noticeable. And by all means, give the whole measure shape with a little swell. Moving on, I start this passage down bow so that the trill figure can be light and elegant at the tip. And we arrive at the tip to make a big, beautiful swell to lead into the repeat. Or leading into the development section. I hope this has given you some ideas which you can carry over to the rest of this movement and the rest of this sonata and other works of Beethoven. I'll sign off for now and look forward to seeing you again next time.